Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So today we will be exploiting Sense on HackTheBox. This is known as a realistic machine and I find it fun. So I have done this machine prior to filming this video. So this video aims to be just a quick rundown of how this box can be exploited. So let's get started. First, we will run an nmap scan on the server. I'll get my notepad up because I like taking notes as we progress through the machine just so they don't get lost because usually things get very cluttered. So interesting. So we see that we have two services, one on port 80 and another on port 443. This indicates a web server or some type of website usually. So we see a service and version number. These are always good to have. Now let's visit the website. So we see a pfSense login page. We can try some default credentials and hope that they work. So I just tried admin, that did not work. Admin root doesn't work either. So now what we can do is look into pfSense. So it's a firewall for routers essentially, usually. So let's check if they have any default credentials, and they do. So administrators sometimes forget to change the default credentials. So let's see if that is the case in this instance. No, it is not. The password has been changed. So another approach to this, which was my essential approach in my first attempt, I aimed to brute force the website. Unfortunately, that just did a denial of service and it shut down the server. So that is not the right way to do this. The second option we have is a directory enumeration. So we can use a tool like GoBuster to just scan and enumerate the directories. So we can specify the dir function and give it the URL and the word list. Now, since the certificate is invalid, we have to specify and let the tool know to ignore the invalid certificate. So we can use that using the -k flag. And also we can specify for extensions to be searched for as well. So we can see that .php is being used. So we can specify .php extensions and then also txt, which is always good to have usually. So just straight off the bat, we see a few .php directories. So index.php is the homepage. Let's look at help.php. Nothing, doesn't get past the login page. If we look at stats, nothing again. We look at the txt ones. These seem like they might be worth something. That didn't get copied properly. Interesting. So we see a support ticket that is not meant to be public information, and it has clear text username and potentially password as well. So we'll keep looking through our findings. We see another .txt, changelog.txt. Interesting. So we see a issue that is public, and it says that there is one remaining vulnerability on this server. So if you go back to the server and try this default credential, and we can guess that the company default password is pfSense. This doesn't work, but if we try it with the same password, but same username and password, just without capital, it does work. So just like that, we're in the system due to a fault by the administrators who have made this public. Now, anyway, so now that we make it into the system, we are not done. We still have a lot more to do. So we see the version number of pfSense. This is very good. We can write that down. And we also see the OS information. We can copy this as well, just in case. Now we can look around this website, which I have done. There's not much useful here. Now the right path is the pfSense service itself. So if we look for exploits in pfSense 2.1.3, to make this quick, we can use this command, this tool called searchsploit. Now you can specify a service and a version number. So pfSense 2.1.3, and it finds an exploit, which is a command injection, and this is the path. So if we want to download this exploit, we can just run the command searchsploit with the -m flag and specify the path. This downloads the exploit. I have already downloaded this, so it's going to overwrite the current version that I have. This is what the exploit looks like. Not too long, very straightforward. Now if we run this exploit and look at the help information, we can see that these are the things that we have to provide. So let's start with our host, which is just the IP address of the remote host, the server, and then localhost is my IP address from the HackTheBox VPN. To get that, I can run ifconfig. Now for this, my device has to be listening. So I'll start a netcat server with NLVP arguments, flags, and specify port 8888. And then I'll just give it the username and password. Yeah, I forgot to use double dashes in the arguments. That is the case sometimes. It varies from tool to tool. This exploit seems to be running successfully. Now, if we look at the netcat server, we can see that something has connected and we see a hash symbol. This usually indicates root access. The exploit is now done running. So if I type a who am I command, we can see that I now have root access to the machine. This is very scary because root access is the highest access level most of the time, and we essentially have owned their system. Now if we just navigate to our root directory and then go to for Rohit's directory, we can see the user flag right here. And then if we go back to our root directory, we find our root flag. And just like that, we have conquered the system and we have the flags. Now this was a very short video. This is because I have tried different methods, and usually these do take more than half an hour, more than an hour sometimes. But this is just a very straight up approach on how this would work if everything were to go correctly. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys learned something.